we have to find the determinant of this 3 by 3 matrix. So what we are going to do to this matrix is we are going to expand them, okay, or we put them into submatrix. So what do I mean? So you can say matrix A equals, you take your first element, which is on the first row and first column, so which is 2, then you multiply it with, since you take this first element, so all the elements on that row and on that column, you have to leave them. So you just write these other elements that are not in that row and on that column. So you have 4 and 5, 2 and 1. Okay. So remember, your matrix comes with plus, minus, and plus. All right. So we now say minus 1. So this one for this element. So since we are taking this element, so everything on this row and on this column will be out. So it will now multiply 0 and 1, 0, 1, then 5 and 1, 5 and 1. Okay. So the next thing we also need to do is, so for the last column. So on this column, everything on this row is gone, and every element on this column is also gone. So we have to write only this element. So we have 0, 1, 4, and 2. So that is how to expand it. So the next thing we need to do is to multiply the element inside the matrix diagonally. So we say A equals 2 in the bracket of 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. It's a minus 10. All right. So this is the first matrix. So we now say minus 1. So this minus 1. 0 multiplied by 1 will give you 0. 5 multiplied by 1 will give you negative 5. All right. So this is for the second matrix. And the third matrix, you have 3 plus, you have 3. 0 multiplied by 2 is going to give you 0. And 4 multiplied by 1 will give you negative. We give you 4. So you subtract it. Then what we have to do is to simplify everything inside the bracket. So we have A will now be equals to 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 2 will give you negative 12. So we have minus. We have 0 minus 5 is going to give you negative 5. Negative 5 times 1 will still give you negative 5. Then plus. We have 0 minus 4 is going to give you negative 4. Negative 4 times 3 will give you negative 12. Negative 12. So this, if you open the bracket, you have negative 12. Negative times negative will give you plus 5. Then negative times negative will give you negative 12. So A will now be, this will be 24. It will now be negative 19. So this is your determinant. Determinant of A equals negative 19.